Today, I want to talk to you about getting ready for 2025. Now, you're going to say to me, Dr. Geneva, it's too early for that. Well, yeah, but we're about 98 days away from the end of the year, and that time is going to fly by. And it's been my experience that we can really plan and get what we want for the upcoming new year if we give ourselves time to do that. That's what I want to talk to you about today because I want you to be ready for and have your best 2025 year. And so we're going to talk about how to do that. Now, you may say to me, Dr. Geneva, you mean really? It's only 90 some days away? Uh-huh. And you know what? 2025 is coming, whether you're ready or not. So I want you to be ready. And I want you to imagine that you wake up on January 1st, 2025, and you got your stuff together and you're ready to start your best year. You have a roadmap. And I'm not talking about resolutions. Everybody does their resolutions, that's fine. But resolutions aren't going to get you to your dreams, to unlocking your potential, to that success that you want, to what you want to be your best year ever. Resolutions ain't gonna get you there. And a solution is to plan. And that's the power of planning because it provides you with a roadmap, with strategies, with actions, with steps, with some good thinking. And it's the difference between just drifting around, got a couple resolutions in your pocket and whatever have you, but you really ain't got the steps and the strategies that you need, the game plan. And that's what I want you to have. So listen, for those of you I haven't yet met, I'm Dr. Geneva, a leadership strategist, top leadership voice on LinkedIn. And I work with leaders. I help leaders through transitions, through increasing their visibility, their executive presence, increasing their earning power. And one of the things in working with leaders, especially women leaders, is that sometimes we're uncertain about what steps to take next. Now, when we approach a new year, many of us are in that position that we're uncertain about what to do. What are our next steps? How do we get there? And I want to have this conversation with you because I want you to be in 2025 and beyond with confidence, purpose, and the impact that I know you want to give. So, because your next chapter, next year, next chapter, next 5 years, all of them deserve to be your best years. All right. So I want you to know that I've spent decades working with women leaders in the public and private sectors across all industries. And I do know that the right strategies and the right mindset can transform your career and your confidence. And so whether you're an executive in philanthropy and you've just gotten this opportunity for a great new promotion, or whether you've been running a nonprofit organization for years, but you're approaching your mid 50s, late 50s, and you're thinking about, well, what am I going to do next? Or you're getting close to, even closer to retirement. You've been successful, you're not sure what you want to do in your next life after retirement, but you have a feeling that, hey, you're not done yet. All of these questions, uncertainties about what's next is what we're going to talk about today, because the solution, I believe, one of the great solutions to that question, well, what do I do next, is planning. That is to have a game plan, a strategy, a life design, whatever you want to call it, something, a roadmap that helps you get to your dreams, to what you're thinking about, going through all the questions and the what ifs, and providing you with some action plans and some steps. Now, I'm not talking about a plan that sits in a drawer. No, and gets dusty and that you really don't use. I'm talking about creating a real life living roadmap that you can use to help guide you. And we know that most research tells us that people with a plan are more likely to achieve their goals. All right? If you understand that, believe that, put yes in the comments. Give me a yes comment. Hey, if you got a plan, you're going to get what you want. Now, that doesn't mean that all plans follow the same strict guidelines. You're going to do exactly what a plan says. No, one of the things about planning is that it's flexible, but it does give you clarity, help reduce, feelings of overwhelm, like you don't know what's going on when the world is like be spinning and uncertainty is there. This assures you that you have a plan, you move forward, and it turns, one of the things that I like about planning, and I like many things. Most of you who know me know I'm a planning geek, but I'm going to get into that in a minute. Planning turns, I hope, into our will. And I have found this to be true. I've been using planning most of my life and career. So people often ask me, Dr. Geneva, how in your career were you able to raise $100 million for business and community initiatives? How were you able to lead organizations, big ones, small ones, startups? How did you get appointed to boards and commissions by every mayor and governor in your state, in your city? How did you do those things? One of the top ways that I was able to do that, to accomplish that in my career, was to have a game plan. In my life, I planned my wedding. I had to have a game plan when I became a mother for the first time after moving from one side of the country into the middle of the country, from the East Coast into Detroit. I had to have a plan for that. So I've used planning for my career and my life. And I have found that it works. And as I work with, consult, facilitate conversation with the leaders that I work with, planning, having a game plan, that is, goals, strategies, action steps. Those are the part that most people think about when they associate planning or having a game plan. But you know what are the other key parts? Your resources. What about your money? What about your support network? The people who help you, who will be there for you? What about alternatives? What if your plan doesn't work? What are some of the what ifs? All of those things are part of the planning process. So it's not just about establishing goals, the steps, putting together the steps, putting together the timelines, but it involves a whole array of thinking about what if scenarios. What are the resources? Who are your cheerleaders? Actually thinking about that. So, so obviously I'm a big, big fan of planning. As I shared with you, I've used it during my life and career. And now that I have left my the nonprofit world, where very successful career after 4 decades, and I know what it is to be a leader and run organizations and balance career and life and all of that. Going from that and transitioning into now an entrepreneur, that was a huge transition. I had a game plan. Now, let me tell you, there was a lot of my plan that didn't work out like I had planned it. Okay. But it still gave me that roadmap. A couple of months after I hung up my shingle to be a business owner, my husband got his first diagnosis with cancer. And then my mom and my dad got sick. They lived on the East Coast. And for the number of years as I was trying to start my business, I was also caregiver. I had not anticipated that. So my plan had to be adjusted, but I still had a roadmap. I still had the things that I wanted to achieve. I knew I had to do things differently. And then when I lost them all, my husband of 40 years, my mom and dad, all within a short period of time, I had to start over. And one of the things I turned to was I told myself, girl, you got to get yourself a game plan. And that is what the track is. That's the roadmap I've been on, and I've been helping women get on for these past years. So today, I want to share with you 4 things that, as you're thinking about 2025, I want you to consider to get yourself ready. And remember, if you need help in this, direct message me. That's what I do. I help leaders, women in particular, in leadership roles, people like you. I help you facilitate, get your plan, developing this plan, your game plan. I can help you get ready for 2025. If you're not sure where you want to go, or you've been relying on resolutions and perhaps they didn't really work out, direct message me or give me a call. There's a QR code. I hope you can see it, that you can just click that and get in touch with me. But leave a comment, DM me, direct message me. Here are the 4 things that I want you to think about, to do, to get ready for 2025. The first is I want you to visualize, well, what does 2025 look like? Okay. What is it about this next year that you want to accomplish? Is it that you want to get ready for your retirement, which is coming up in a couple of years, and you want to spend 2025 um, practicing, getting ready for it, exploring options? Or is it about you're in line for that big promotion, so that you want 2025 to be the year where you uptick your executive presence and focus on your brand? Or do you know that in 2025 you really want to step into your passion? Let's say it's starting a new business. You say, Dr. Geneva, I've been dreaming about this. I want to start my own business. I want to be an entrepreneur. How do I do that? What are the steps? So you think about what you're going to look like, what you're going to be doing, see yourself in 2025. So that's the first thing that I want you to think about. Again, whether it's a new leadership role, a new business, maybe you want to lose weight, whatever it is, see yourself already in that dream. So that's the first thing. Okay. The second thing I invite you to think about now, this, what I just identified for you, is the concept of seeing the end, END, the end in mind. But Stephen Covey, who, really gave that to us way, way back, see the end in mind. I love it. Uh, I don't like to think of it as an end. Okay. I really think about it as a beginning. So I want you to visualize what you look like, what you're doing, who you're doing it with. Okay. So that's what you're going to be doing. Okay. The second thing that I want you, the second step, activity, action to get yourself ready for 2025, I want you to do is to think about your past wins and what kinds of steps you took to get those wins, and what do your steps look like or could look like in 2025. So often when we're planning for the future or thinking about what do I do next, we don't stop and remember, reflect on what we did before. So now we're about what, 9 months into 2024. So I want you to think about what happened in these past 9 months in 2024. Just want you to think about it. And I want you to pull out a piece of paper, get yourself a pad, okay? And I want you to put up at the top wins, big letters, okay? Wins, wins. And I want you to identify 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7. And listen, I don't care if you just have one on that piece of paper, one thing that you accomplished or achieved that was a win, something to celebrate. So you put those 1 or 2 or 3, you might have half a dozen. Congratulations. But I want you to do that. And then I want you to sit and think about that. What did you do after you celebrate and feel good about yourself? Because that's an important part of the process. And one of the things that when I work with women, every conversation, we gonna celebrate something because there's been something in your life that you've done, that you've achieved. So you're going to put the wins down and you'll identify those. And so after you celebrate them, take a deep breath and then ask yourself, well, how did I do that? How did I accomplish that? What actions did I take? What steps did I do? Now, this step that you're going to do, you maybe didn't get those wins really being intentional about them, but in 2025, that's what you're going to do differently. You're going to take action with purpose. Okay. So I want you to get into that habit of reflecting on the things you've done, the wins you've had, and what you did to accomplish that. because that's going to become part of your strategy and part of your game plan. Okay. Because if you were successful once doing it, we're going to try it again. Okay. The third thing that I want you to do to get yourself ready for 2025 is to consider various scenarios. Okay. So I remember when I made the transition from a nonprofit successful career, raising all this money, leading organizations, 4 decades of doing that, into this brand new, never done before entrepreneurial world. And I thought, I was cool because I had this plan and everything. And then boom, life happened. It changed because I became a caregiver that I had never anticipated. And so one of the things that I didn't do, I was so focused on, opening my business and being an entrepreneur that I never considered, well, what if that doesn't work? Or what if I have to adjust that? And so I want you vision what 2025 would look like. You've thought about the action steps that you can take or you took with intention and purpose. This time, I want you to consider alternative scenarios as well. Some folks call that plan B, plan C, what have you. I like to think about it as uh, unlocking possibilities, alternative solutions. And so, and why is that? And that's because I like to always keep, and I want to encourage you to keep the idea of possibility in your thinking, in your mind, because we can do so much. We have it all in us. We have the assets within us. Thinking about them, bringing them out, unlocking them, that's joy. That's the possibility. And so I believe in looking at all of the possibilities that we have because things will get tough. And so consider those possibilities. And then the fourth thing that I really want you to do to get yourself ready for 2025 is to recognize the moment that you're in. That in fact, there are these assets that you have. You've been through struggles. There's probably uncertainty. I know with me, there frequently is uncertainty. But there's something special about the moment that you're in right now. And I want you to identify um, those things that bring you joy right now. Why, Dr. Geneva? Because I want you to be very intentional about carrying the joy forward. So often, when we do our thinking about next year, what's coming up, our resolutions, whatever have you, it's about forgetting everything, you know, clean slate, new year. It's natural. Okay. So we wipe everything up and we say, let's move forward. Brand new me. I have a different point of view on that. I believe that you have so many assets, have great experiences, and tremendous wisdom. And no matter what you've been through, you've had some joy. Now, maybe you got to sit down and really take that deep breath and recollect and think about that joy. But that's what I want you to do because I want you to get into the habit of carrying your joy with you. Okay. So as you're doing your planning and getting ready for 2025, you're going to build on, not eliminate and start from a blank slate. You're going to build on your joy, your wisdom, your experiences, your assets, your wins, your accomplishments. Get it? Mhm. Because keeping that there, because you've got so much, it's like a gold mine. And so you're going to build on it. Okay. So, I- um, I'm really geek about doing this planning and helping you craft, your strategy, your life strategy, your game plan, what you can do, all of the possibilities. And the thing about it is, when you go through a process like this planning process, and that's what I can help you with, develop your plan for 2025. And I work with so many women to develop their 5-year plan. Most of the leaders that I work with now, that's what they want. They want to look beyond just the upcoming year. They want to look at 3, 5 years, particularly if they're in their midlife. And we know that retirement or what's ever next probably needs some thinking about, because so often when we reach that midlife, particularly when we turn 50, we look back and we say we've lived half a century. What do I do next? That's what I love doing, love helping women leaders do. And so as you're thinking about your next steps and what to do, I want you to remember these four. I invite you to think of these four things we've talked about so that you can uh, develop your 2025 to be the best ever and to get ready. Because, again, don't, I know it's right around the corner. I want you to go away and you be saying, when it when Christmas time be rolling up, you're going to be saying, Dr. Geneva told me way back when that this time was coming up. It'll be here soon. Then you know what I want you to think about it. Please let me know. Give me some comments. I love you. I want everything to be the best for you. And I do believe that having a game plan, planning, thinking about your future, being intentional about what you do matters, because it's your book. It's your book. You are the author in your own story. So taking control of your story, your book, is what matters. Love you. I'll see you next time, next week. Give me some comments. Let me know what you think about this conversation. And remember, if there's any way that I can be of help to you, let me know. Direct message me, call me, whatever. I'm there for you. See you next time. This is Dr. Geneva.